Hey there, teacher friend. I'm so happy that you have joined us here on the Teacher Let Your Light Shine podcast, that you're taking the time, hence the title of today's show, which is 7 time lies that are keeping you from pursuing your God-given purpose, your growth, your career change. Today, we are debunking the lies and really utilizing our time to reflect on either the lies that we have been either believing from our fear mindset, scarcity mindset, or the lies that we've been taught through social media or through our past experiences or even our parents. Time is such a beautiful commodity. I love researching about time management because that's the one thing that we all have in common. That is the beautiful gift of life that God has given us. And a lot of times we either abuse time, myself included, or we misuse our time, or we think negatively about time, or we think that there's not enough of it, or we think that we've spent too much of time on something. And today we're just going to debunk the lies that could be holding you back from starting a new career change or growing your business or stepping out and doing something for the very first time that feels scary, that feels enormous. And you could be using these lies specifically about time. And today, I want to dig deep into them. Maybe you resonate with one, maybe you resonate with 3, maybe you resonate with all of them. But I hope that this gives you a springboard for thinking about this season of your life and how you want to utilize the rest of your time before the new year comes. Let's get into it. Welcome, teacher, to the Let Your Light Shine podcast. If you're searching for the freedom and permission to design the life you love as a teacher, you're in the right place. I'm on a mission to help teachers just like you build their own dream school or homeschooling business. In this present day, the world needs you, teacher friend, to step out in faith and give students an education they love and so deserve. In this podcast, I will teach you how to start a fulfilling and profitable homeschooling business that lights you up. I'm Makenzie Oliver, former elementary teacher and instructional coach, gone homeschool teacher and business builder. I'm here to empower you to step outside the classroom and choose the experiences, the curriculum, and all the moments that put a smile on your face and your students. Does it seem like a dream? Well, it did to me, until God opened the doors and made it reality. Together, we are breaking through fears and moving the crowd. So get out your notebook, sharpen your pencil. It's time to get your teach on. And speaking of time, guess what? Right now, I'm utilizing a pocket of time that I never dreamt that I would have this time of the year because I'm sitting here recording this podcast during Hurricane Nicole. This is the second hurricane that we have went through here in the state of Florida in the past 6 weeks. First, it was Hurricane Ian. Now it's Hurricane Nicole. And I'm recording my episode just sitting here on a Thursday morning because the 18 little children that show up typically on my house Monday through Friday, they're not here today. But praise God, we have our power, we have our lights, we have the energy, we have the time to be at home, and my daughter is in the kitchen cooking right now, and my other daughter is having a self-care day, and I am here with you behind the microphone. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself and to utilize this podcast to help you in your adventure of creating a teacher change, creating a legacy, starting your own school. And speaking of timeline, we are just a few weeks away from the new year, and there's going to be a lot of new changes with Teacher Let Your Light Shine. Ones that I am so excited about, and I'm just pouring my heart and soul into it every single early morning that God wakes me up before my alarm clock. He's been waking me up before 5 a.m., which is typically the time that I wake up. I've been praying for God to give me additional time to work on a project that is very, very near and dear to my heart that's going to serve our community in the greatest, most profound aspect yet. And that will be rolling out in the new year. So be ready for that. And with that in mind, I'm going to have to change the way that I look at time, not only just utilizing time, I have to change the way that I am utilizing my time. And I will be sharing some changes that will be coming and that will benefit you and hopefully will lead you and guide you in a way that sets you free to either make more time, utilize your time, or appreciate your time more as you go through this journey of either starting your own micro school learning pod or growing it or marketing your school. It's going to be great. Now, speaking of that, I love setting across a Zoom meeting with the teachers who need me to help brainstorm and plan and give them everything that they need in that hour to get started. They are beautiful sessions. They are powerful. They are given to us as a moment to reflect and refine and plan. I love creating timelines with teachers and having them walk away with their questions answered or their wills just continuing to feel the motivation and the possibilities and the encouragement and giving them a roadmap for success. I would love to work with you. I have a few spots available before we end 2022. So head on over to www.teachersletyourlightshine.com/coaching and book your time. Let's get you started for the new year because it's going to be here before you know it. Time is ticking. Okay, let's talk about the 7 time lies that are keeping you from pursuing your God-given purpose. Because, you want to do the thing, but the thing seems scary and the thing seems out of place and you don't know where to start and you don't know how to start the thing and you feel trapped and you can't get out of your current situation. You don't know whether to stay. You don't know whether to go. You don't know when to start. And at the end of the day, you think, I can't do this. I can't make this change. And you could possibly be believing the lies about our gift of time that God gives us. And if you read Ecclesiastes chapter 3, it just is such a beautiful reminder about how there is a time for everything. So your action step right now after you get off this podcast needs to be to go and open up your Bible to Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and see that God has ordained a perfect time for everything. And blessings take time. Legacies take time. Building really great businesses and schools and lives take time. Designing the life that you love takes time. But you don't have to walk through this journey with a scarcity mindset or a fear mindset based around time. So what would be one lie that you could be believing that is keeping you from your God-given purpose? And that would be, number 1, it's not the right time. And I use these same fears, by the way, and it is always rooted in a scarcity mindset or a fear mindset. It's not the right time. But my question to you is, when will it be? When your bank account is big enough? When you've got all your retirement planned out and you've got the perfect plan to leave? When your kids grow up? Or maybe you're thinking, I don't even know when the right time will be. But I can tell you this, you're never going to feel like it is the right time because there's always going to be something in your ear that says, I don't know. Is it? What do you think? What if you do it and you fail? What if you could have waited? What if you should wait? Maybe you shouldn't do it. Maybe 5 years from now, it's going to be too late. Maybe 1 year from now, it's going to be too late. So you might as well just not even do it because you can't do it right now because not right now is not the right time. And this is a common ground for anxiety because you don't want to move because you feel like it's not the right time. And when you don't move, you feel trapped and it causes more anxiety. I talked myself out of doing what I'm doing for years because I thought it wasn't the right time. And the truth is, God made it the right time. He literally just made it the right time. And I still tried to run away from it because I was thinking it wasn't the right time. Number 2, you're probably thinking, like I've been thinking, several times, I don't have the time. No, well, here's the thing. If you live a super busy, cramped lifestyle, which most of us, especially in America, feel the need to be overproductive and to always be doing something or always consuming something, then it is going to feel as if you don't have the time. And it could only be because maybe our priorities are not where they need to be. For an example, my daughter really wants to pursue volleyball, and my husband and I are sacrificing the time and the energy and the finances for her to be able to pursue her dream, because we know that she only has a little bit of time left before she graduates high school, and she wants to be on this traveling volleyball team, and she's never been before. Okay, but we also had to think about what we were going to take off of our plate during this time of the year. And while our other daughter really wanted to pursue soccer more times a week, we analyzed the amount of time that we could dedicate to her having her own little thing as well. And we also looked at if we don't have the time to take our children from here to there, because my husband and I are both working on really large projects during this time of our life, then who can we have help us if we don't have the time? And we are either carpooling with other people, or we are asking our mother and our father-in-law to help us, or utilizing different pockets of time that we've never considered before. As I was telling you earlier, I've been waking up before 5 o'clock consistently over the past couple of weeks, and even on the weekend, to work on a big project. And that's not something that I do during every season of my life. But right now, during this season, okay, this is what we need to think about. During this season, could you make the time for it? We all have the time for what's important. If I know that it's important to take my daughter to these specific volleyball tryouts and games and travel, then I'm going to make time for it. So why wouldn't I make time for a project or for a creation or for a business that I know is going to set me free and give me more time back once I have it developed? So we have spent so many episodes on time. I talk about project planning, paper planners, Google calendars. I break down every day or every month into weeks, into days. And I know that while I am working on my own thing, I am analyzing and I'm thinking about how you are possibly got one foot in either teaching school or your business, and you're trying to have your other foot either growing a school or creating a business. And I know what that is like. So please do not think that I'm pointing my finger at you and telling you that you need to have this all figured out. But I can tell you this: you can't afford not investing in finding the time. So have a really great moment with yourself and see if the lie that you've been possibly telling yourself is, I don't have time. Is it rooted in scarcity? Is it rooted in fear? Put a date on the calendar, because here's the thing. If you can give yourself 30 minutes to work on what it is that you feel God is calling you to do, it's worth it. And God will bless you with the time. And I encourage you to pray over this and have Him wake you up earlier than anticipated, or give you pockets of time and help you to remember that those pockets of time are used for you to get started on what He's called you to do. Number 3, this is another one that could be rooted in scarcity and fear, and they all are, but number 3 is it's too late. Oh my gosh, I totally did this. It's too late. I'm already invested in school. I've already gotten my career. I've got my master's degree. My kids are growing up. It's too late. I'm not going to have a school in my home because I've always pictured that the school is going to be a preschool, and my kids are not preschool age anymore. So it's too late. I'm too old. I'm too invested in my retirement. I'm too invested in our insurance plan. I'm too invested in what I've already committed myself to. And the truth is, I'm almost 40 years old. So I think I could have probably done this better whenever I was 30. And guess what? I believed that at least for a year. Actually, 3 years, but the second year and the third year, getting heavier and heavier on me. Like, am I making this my truth when really it's a lie keeping me from what God wants me to do? We have to be comfortable getting uncomfortable. I know many teachers that have left their career in their 50s to start their own school. I work with people who are in their 20s and are starting their own school. You are not too old. You are not too invested. You are not too far out of teaching to start or to do what God has asked you to do. It's never too late. Lie number 4 would be that you haven't had enough time to perfect your craft. Maybe it's, well, I just started teaching, or I just started this new school, or I just started this homeschool, or I'm afraid that I'm going to be of disservice because I haven't had enough time to do the thing. Or maybe you already have a school and you're thinking about growing your school and you are hearing the lie that you need to do it for a few more years before you grow it anymore. Have you been telling yourself that you haven't had enough time to perfect your craft? Because the truth is, your craft comes by continually taking action. Lie number 5, I'll waste my time. And this is an absolute fear mindset because you are afraid of failing. And you're afraid that if you take the investment, you'll waste your time. What about the people that are taking their money and putting it into stocks? What about the people who are taking their time to invest in building something, let's just say physically, like a garden, and they're thinking, I'll waste my time because I just don't have a green thumb. I'd really like to, but I'm not going to try because I've never really been able to grow plants or grow vegetables or fruits before, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to waste my time. Instead of going, I don't want to waste my time, and I really want this to be impactful, and I really want it to be effective, so I'm going to take my time in order not to waste my time. And if it doesn't work, guess what? I've learned something in the process, and God will lead me to something else through that process of stepping out in obedience. Maybe you're afraid that you're not going to be successful. Maybe you're thinking, I'll put in all this effort and I won't get a return, and you just really don't even know where to begin. And because you don't know where to begin, you feel like trying to figure it out is going to waste your time. And the truth is, it's just nothing but a big lie that's causing a big excuse. You're going to have to just do it. You're going to have to jump into the pool. And if you cannot jump into the pool, then you need someone behind you that's going to push you into the pool, and I will be that person. Schedule a clarity breakthrough session with me because I will stand on the other side and say, no, here's what you're going to do in January. This is what you're going to do in February. This is what you're going to focus on in March, because you do have the time if it's important to you. You will have enough time. It's not too late, and you're not going to waste time because there are other people who have done it and they have proved themselves successful, and you can too. Number 6 would be the opposite of I'll waste my time, and that is I can just take my time. I can just sit and brainstorm and dream about this for the next 5 years and take my pretty little time because I just don't really want to commit right now. And I'm just going to keep putting it off. And I don't care if it really keeps nagging me and nagging me and nagging me, because at some point I'll do it. Just like at some point we'll declutter our closet, and at some point we will take out the trash that's been piled up in our garage. At some point we'll take the box to the Goodwill or the thrift store. At some time, some point in our life we'll take that vacation. At some point we'll start saving. When is it? Friend, myself included, I'll get to that another time. Well, if you are that person, and I have been there before, then you definitely need an accountability partner. Someone who is going to push you even when you're like, I don't think I can, because then you're going to come up with all of the other excuses about the time. You need an accountability partner. It is what it is. It's okay. We all need help. I can tell you right now that I have fought my way through several projects this year, and I have resisted, and I have said, I can't do it. I don't have the time. I can wait on that. And I have had multiple coaches and multiple people in my life say, no, you can't. You're going to start that. And by God, I'm so glad I did. And I'm so glad that I invested in someone who made me see the opportunities and act on the opportunities. So that's number 6. I can take my time. Again, I'm just going to remind you in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, God says there's a time for everything. Now, I know what you're going to say to me, but what if it's not God's perfect timing? Hey, this is not what that episode is about, dear sister friend. This episode is about God telling you or giving you a desire and you're not acting on it because you are creating your own lie and walking out, avoiding what God has called you to do because you are believing the lies. Now, again, this is absolutely God's perfect timing. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely believe in that. But I also know that we can run and run and run and find all of the excuses to not do what He's called us to do. But He will always find us. And He will always have His perfect plan unfold. And the 7th lie is this: I don't have the energy to make the time. And while that might be true, my encouragement to you is energy comes by momentum. And now I'm just going to say I'm not a big science buff here, but I do remember Newton's first law of motion. And Newton's first law of motion states that every object will remain at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change by its state of the action. I totally just pulled that up on Google. Oh yeah, I did. I saved myself time. And I went and I put in Newton's law of motion because unless there is a force, you could remain at rest. And let me just say that feels good for a little bit, and then it starts creeping up on you. You know how it is when you're like, I'm not going to exercise today, and then I'm not going to, I missed out on yesterday, so I'm going to not do it today. And then by golly, it's Wednesday. I might as well just start over next week. And the truth is, you just have to build in the momentum. You've got to make the habit. You've got to say, I don't want to walk down the path of least resistance. I'm going to actively choose to walk down the path of most resistance because I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to rise up to the occasion and I'm going to force myself to do something that makes me feel very uncomfortable. But by golly, I can do it if I at least try. And so I want to leave you with the reminder that our schools aren't getting better. Our world's not getting better. And we need people like you to make each of these better. And it starts with saying, I'm going to take captive of my thoughts and the imaginations that come across my mind that are telling me lies straight from the pit of you know where and are keeping me trapped, chained, and in total bondage because I feel like I don't have the time, or I don't feel like I'll make the most of my time, or I feel as if it's too late, or I don't have enough time, or I can take my time, or it's not the right time. And my biggest advice is for you to take the time now and pray about it and start making your way towards finding the time. Being really honest with yourself about your priorities, what you want, what you wish, what you love, what you dream of, and start making the time for it right now. Not tomorrow, right now. That's so much as easily going and grabbing a blank 50-cent notebook and just writing, the time is now. I need to find more time. And just writing that down for right then, and that just allowing you to move into momentum. A simple little act like that can move mountains. Hey, teacher friend. Thanks so much for listening to today's show. I pray it inspired you, touched you, or challenged you in some way, because we are making big shifts and using our teaching gifts for God's glory like never before. I'm so grateful for you. The number one way you can support this show is to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts and also share this with another teacher. Come join me in the Virtual Teachers Lounge, known as the Teacher Let Your Light Shine Facebook group. Until next time, keep shining your teacher light. The world needs you.